Hello, and welcome to another episode of Don't You Have Something Better to Do with Chris Donley. That's me, your favorite, me, your favorite Chris Donley of the day. Singer, guitar player, Nate Kepner from, I guess, where are you guys from, technically? Ohio Valley. Their debut album, A Different Shade of Gray, on all streaming. But why don't you buy it? I actually, when Nate got a hold of me, checked him out. He got a hold of me and about booking a show with Critic City, my band, one of my bands, and I checked them out and I immediately actually bought their entire catalog. The quality is amazing. Songs are great. Awesome rock, awesome vocals. But they go all over the place, really. They've opened for a ton of bands: Saving Abel, Funeral Portrait, Taproot, Adelita's Way, Kingdom Collapse, Crowbot, who I love, CKY, and another band I'm not going to mention because I opened for their singer and he was a bitch. Nate is coming on right now. And there he is.
What's going on, man?
What's up, brother? How you doing, Nate?
Good, real good. Sorry it took me a minute to get signed up for
No,
some reason.
it's all good. Sorry for the delay. I was having some issues myself, just having too much stuff opened or something. But do me a favor, tell everybody a little bit about yourself, about the band.
My name is Nathan Kepner. I play guitar and sing backup vocals for the band Theriaca. We're a hard rock band based out of the Pittsburgh, Ohio Valley area.
Very cool. I kind of told a little bit about you guys already.
All right, on.
Yeah, dude. Hopefully we get to play again sometime soon. We did that. What was the place in Youngstown we did?
West Side Bowl.
West Side Bowl. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, it's a cool spot. I'd rather play upstairs though, where there's
Me
air
too,
conditioning.
dude. Those stairs were brutal
And
that
it
night.
was
Ooh, it's so hot.
so hot. Oh my gosh.
I don't. I think the walls were like sweating, man. It was
Yeah,
that
yeah. You can
crazy,
see
man.
water, like you can see water on the walls from people's sweat.
Right, man. Are you guys working on any like new music right now?
Yeah, we just released a brand new single called Noctambulous a few weeks ago, and we have another one that's going to be released on July 4th.
Awesome. Yeah,
And
you guys are
then,
staying busy too. That's great, man.
oh yeah, and then we're heading back into the studio again in July to record two new songs. So
Who
we're
are you guys recording with and where?
the last two songs that we recorded have been produced by Scooter in Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, Scooter did a song up for us too.
Oh, right on.
I
Yeah,
didn't
he's
realize that.
fantastic. Yeah, our original producer who did our first record and our Yosemite single, he he's Mike Ofka at Innovation Studios in Steubenville. He recently moved
Okay.
like a few hours away. So when he moved, we kind of started looking for a different place to go, and we did a lot of research around the area. And
Did you
Scooter
actually
came.
go into Scooter's place or did you track it at your
No,
place
we
or
we did scratch tracks, and then we sent him the scratch tracks so that he could get the BPMs correct and all that stuff. So when we got there, it was just basically plug and record.
dude, it was we had like all of our songs done and ready to go and everything, but then my guitar player brought out a new song. We're like, why wasn't that included? It's an amazing song. So we are like trying to find ways to not kill our guitar player Steve because he's usually the one does all the mixing and masters for us. And I'm like, let's find somebody outside of our tribe, to maybe take some of the weight off you. So I just busted out some vocals here. We sent it to Scooter and it turned out great, man.
Yeah, he's fantastic. We're definitely going to stick with him as long as we can, for sure. As
Yeah,
long as
man.
he's available, that's what we're going to go with.
That's the thing, because like I said earlier, because when you got a hold of me, or I don't even remember how it went. I think you got sent Critic City a message, and everybody's unfortunately got the login, so I didn't see the message until like a long time later, and then I click on it and I check you guys out, and I bought your entire catalog like that day because it's friggin' great, man. Honestly, the artwork, the music, the lyrics, it's you guys are up there for me. Like when it comes to bands we know that deserve to be heard,
Thank
in
you,
my
man.
opinion.
I really appreciate that. We need to play together again because I think you guys are fantastic too. I
Well,
think
thanks,
we
pal.
fit really well together, and your voice is phenomenal. I love the acoustic stuff that you've been doing too,
Well,
man.
thanks,
It's
brother.
awesome, awesome.
I appreciate that, man. Now you guys got a great band, and I've told a lot of people about you too. So that's been one of the cool hidden gems of like doing this for so long is finding bands that we can play with that I love. I mean, you guys are great. Like there's a couple handfuls for me that through all the years, and you guys are in that batch. So when did you start playing like guitar? Because you play guitar and sing backups.
Yeah, yeah. I've been playing guitar since I was. I think I got my first guitar when I was 10 years old.
Oh wow.
Actually, a pretty interesting story. It's not very long, but it's a pretty cool story. I was living with my grandparents at the time, and my mom lived right next door, and she had gone through a divorce with my first stepdad, and I was living with my grandmother. And she calls me one day, and she's like, "Hey, I got somebody that I want you to meet." She started singing this guy. So I walked up the street because she lived next door, and I walk in, and it's he's my dad now, but the guy that she was seeing at the time was sitting on the couch playing guitar, and it was the first time I had ever seen anybody like play like a live instrument. And
Right.
I was my grandfather's real big into classical music, and
Hmm.
I was like a week away from taking violin lessons because I wanted to learn
Wow.
how to play music.
Right.
And I walked in and saw him playing guitar, and I was just like awed at the just seeing somebody playing guitar in front of me.
Right.
And so I went back down to my grandparents that night, and I walked in. And I told my grandmother, I was like, I want to take guitar lessons instead of violin lessons.
Were they
And you
crushed
could,
because you didn't do
oh,
violin?
my grandpa was so he was like, oh. But my
But
grandparents are always been very supportive of everything, and same thing with with my stepdad. He's been my dad since I was 10, but
awesome.
he's the reason why I play guitar for sure. So yeah, I've been playing guitar for a long time.
Did he kind of take you under his wing, like show you chords
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff like that?
Yep, when I got my first guitar, the first thing we did was started learning how to play guitar, and he taught me basic chords and drop D tuning, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool.
Yep. Yep.
And then YouTube started getting popular, and I just started learning how to play guitar from YouTube,
That's
basically.
I don't know. I'm pretty optimistic actually about rock. It's back on the it's actually back in the charts now, you know. I mean,
Yeah, for
with
sure.
Turnstile, Sleep Token, Ghost, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's just refreshing to a point where I think rock was just kind of taking a nap for 10, 15 years or
yeah, for
something.
sure. That
But
I'm kind of digging the like emo revival too, though. Too,
it's
like, you
pretty
know,
wild, man.
we played with this band called The Funeral Portrait a couple times last year, and then after we played with them, they just like blew up like
Really.
instantly. They went on tour with Marilyn Manson. I'm like, we just played with them, and now they're touring with Manson, but now they're like one of the biggest bands in the country, and it's like, and they're part of the revival,
Right.
of rock music, and especially like bands like Sleep Token, where they're melting like
Hmm.
they're getting people that are into like today's music into
Right.
heavy metal too because they're mixing that in with their music, and I love it. I love it.
I do too, man. And the fact that like something could change overnight, like literally, and you could have all the power, not have to be under a label's thumb or
Exactly.
something. It's a beautiful time, I think, for music and honestly, independent, you know, songwriters and singers and stuff like that, you know. So, did you check out like the President stuff too?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. At first, when I first heard it, I was like, here we go, another, a popular trend, and now we're gonna get all these industry plants. You know what I mean? But
It's got to be Charlie though,
but
the
it's
fight star, right?
yeah, yeah, but it's fantastic though. Like after listening to it for a couple songs through, I'm like, and then there's this other band that I came across too called since Sleep Token has like really taken off, you've seen a lot of bands in that same realm like pop out. I want to say Verdict or Verduct.
Okay.
The hell's the name of that band?
Look it
But
up
they're like,
later. Just look it up later and text it
yeah,
to
well,
me,
I
and
will
I'm gonna put all the stuff we talk about in the links, even your friends' bands that you talked about and everything. So
for
I've just been
sure.
trying to like this whole thing's just been kind of silly, fun thing for me just to chat with some musicians I admire and I'd like. And honestly, like, if a couple people go to your site and buy your stuff and go to see it, then I'm happy. You know what I mean? Kind of an optimistic time for me for music,
For sure. I mean,
for
to be
rock
able to
music.
like be like, hours away from each other and be able to chat and other people be able to watch, like you couldn't do that when we were younger.
Right.
Yeah, they like write out flyers and go put them on telephone pole. I mean, we still do
Yeah,
like the guerrilla style promoting too, but like
right.
it's 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 to be able to get to the masses. It's a beautiful and a scary thing at the same time.
Agreed, agreed. Do you think that, some of the mask stuff is happening because rockers are getting older, but they don't want to appear younger, so they do wear the masks? Do you
That's
think?
a that's a very good that's a very good
I'm just curious if anybody else
theory.
feels that way because, I mean, I know when I was a kid and we were actually, popular because nobody was married and had kids and all that stuff yet. So, I'm literally on my third round of seeing people again. We were 18, we were the big fish in the little pond. 10 years later, friggin' everybody's divorced. I see them back out again at at shows.
Yeah, yeah,
Then
yeah.
they're gone again for 5 years. Now I'm literally on the third round of a lot of people, and I'm wondering if it's just there's old dudes like me that are just still doing what they do because they love, and they've hopefully matured songwriting wise because I can't listen to my old stuff. But that's the thing. Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
the Thorica, is that your first band or is that
No, Thoric has been around for since I was 18 years old. We've
okay?
been together for a long time, but we weren't called Thorica then. We were called Fusion.
Okay,
We've gone through a few different like rebranding
rebrandings,
phases. Yeah, we were
right?
Fusion, and then we recorded another EP in 2015 under the name For What It's Worth, and then this most recent Thorica.
Same
So yeah,
members though for the most part.
the same core guys. Yeah, it's me and Kyle and Bryce, the lead singer and the drummer. We've been together since off and on for the last 20 years.
That's awesome, man.
Our first record we recorded back in 2006,
Wow.
and yeah, it pops up in my Spotify every once in a while. I'm like, oh, I remember listening to it back then. I'm like, man, this is so amazing. But you listen to it back like
I
now, and it's
bet,
like,
dude.
damn, it's so bad. The
I don't
songs were
believe you.
good, but
I
the recording was.
I bet I dig it because it's like I can't listen to my first couple albums with my one band. It's like, oh man, dumb kids, and we
Yeah,
thought we were the greatest thing ever, and it's like, oh my god, it's crazy.
you have to go through that though. You have
I
to
agree.
grow.
But that's
There's
why
too
that's why
many.
I'm asking. Like, I wonder if the whole mask thing, because I think it's got to be Charlie and President, and I loved Fight Star, so it's a win-win for me. And like, do you know the story behind him and everything?
Uh-uh.
Like he was, I think, like put together. Um, he was in like an English pop group that was kind of American Idol called Busted, and I guess they were huge over there. And then next thing you know, he wanted to rock out and Fight Star, and so I don't know if these members are if it is Fight Star, or if it's just him and other people, but it's got to be his
Yeah.
voice. I don't know.
I see Daughtry's doing that too. It seems like he broke out of his contract that he had
Oh, really?
with American Idol, and his like most recent record is like pretty hard, pretty heavy.
Cool.
Yeah, I know
I'm
that because he was in like a hard rock band before he was in
right.
American Idol or whatever it was.
Well, didn't the Three
And
Doors Down guys or the Three Doors Down guys help write like some of his hits?
yeah, yeah,
That's what I
exactly.
thought.
Yep.
Yeah,
And then
it's a shame about that singer about them, but
yeah, I know for sure. And then the video that he posted when he said that he had cancer, it was like devastating to see that. Like it's,
crazy.
I mean, it's great that he's like high in spirits with it
Right.
and positive about it, but man, it's just hard to. I grew up with listening to bands like Three Doors Down back when I was a kid. It's like
They're
hard to see that.
still holding the rock torch, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
crazy.
exactly, exactly.
That's good Daughtry broke out of that though. I mean,
I had a feeling he would because I remember like when he was on that when he, I think he came in what third place or whatever
something like
with
that. I'm not sure.
but I remember hearing him talk about how he was in a rock band before he came in here, and so it was cool that like he must have broke out of his contract or whatever, or is free to do what he wants now because the new stuff is pretty heavy. It's good.
Anybody ever ask you or you got your guys or like, why don't you ever try to do something like that, like American Idol or one of
Uh,
those singing
well,
con?
we when we were younger, like we got into that whole battle of the bands type thing, and we did this thing for Fuse Network called Bodog Battle of the Bands back in 2005,
I
six.
remember that.
Yeah, it had like 2 seasons, and we came in second place in the Philadelphia region. We just missed being on TV.
Do you have that? Do you have that on like on recording?
What the well we like I said, we came in second place in the Philly region, so we didn't make it to the
Oh,
actual
okay. Gotcha.
show.
To
Like
the show.
they picked like the top band from each like major city, and the closest one to us was Philadelphia. So we ended up driving and played like 3 or 4 shows. We made it all the way to the final. We lost to like a rap group. They were actually really good though. They were like a full band
Right.
and called Burn Down All Stars. And then they got kicked off the very first episode, or maybe the second.
Really?
So yeah, I was like, could have, we could have been on TV.
Do
But
you remember like the contract that you had to even sign to probably like
it was
to
based,
enter? Like, is it kind of like American Idol bullshit?
yeah,
Like
yeah, for sure. It was like you had to like
you
it was
sell your
it was
life away if you win.
yeah, basically, yeah, yeah, for
Right.
sure. Like yeah, it was like a cross country type thing though. So like once they picked the top band from each city, then they got together in one city and they went on tour. But they had to do like different shit at each city. Like this city, they have to like do guerrilla style promoting and stuff.
Right.
And they were kicking bands off as they got out to LA.
That's
And
awesome though, man.
yeah, and I'm surprised it didn't like take off and do more than a couple seasons because it was a pretty cool show.
There was one on MTV like that too, wasn't it? It was like in the late 90s. I want to say it was because it was I want to say it was the it was Breaking Benjamin without Ben. Like they formed like a cover band. And I think they won the thing I'm talking about. They were called Lifer or something, I think.
Really,
Does that sound right? But
it's not
like
ringing a bell.
I think Ben went to like LA and all that stuff with recordings and he's shopping and to labels and playing solo. And I think the rest of the band formed this cover band and got on. I can't remember what it was. Bands on the Run. I think it was called Bands on the Run.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up. It sounds interesting.
But yeah, that the other they had a different singer and they were called Lifer, I think. And I think they had 1 or 2 records that they actually put out of originals. And then Ben got Breaking Benjamin signed and they came back or something. I could have just made that up. I don't know. It sounds good, right? What kind
Yeah,
of
but
what kind of
the
stuff? I'm sorry.
that was the only time we ever did any kind of like battle of the bands or any kind of like
Rite of passage.
yeah type thing. After that, we were like, you know what, this isn't really. We don't want to look at this as a competition,
Right.
So kind of stay away from that.
Yeah. I mean, I think you definitely got to do it when you're young a couple times just to see
Oh yeah,
kind of the politics of all it too. You know what I mean? Ours was, you know, whoever sold the most tickets, basically, it was a, popularity contest. And,
exactly.
you know, it is what it is, but you learn and hopefully you learn and hopefully you teach the younger generations what not to do if they, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Either that or just don't teach them that because maybe they should go through the pitfalls we did. Do you remember what was your first guitar?
My very first guitar was the same as every other kid's first guitar, a Fender Strat.
All right. You still
Well,
got it?
a Fender, it was a Squire Strat.
Okay.
But
Still.
no, I don't have it anymore. No, it was
No.
I'd beat the out of that guitar.
What kind of rig are you running right now?
Right now, I'm strictly Ibanez. I would like to eventually. My like goal is to like get a contract with Ibanez.
Nice.
I've broken away from them and played other guitars before, but every time I've done that, I've always ended up going back because every Ibanez guitar I've ever owned has been phenomenal for me. So
Nice. That's what
yeah,
I got Ibanez bass.
you have a fantastic rig there. Look at that. Look at
Thanks,
all
man.
that.
I don't know how to play any of them, but but actually most of there's one of my first guitars I ever bought was Mr. Strat right there,
There
baby.
you go.
You know what I mean?
The tried and true.
Yep. I think I got it for like $300 brand new.
Yeah.
And man, I beat the hell out of that too, man. It's crazy. What kind of amp though? Are you running
I run
Kemper
all digital.
or
I run all digital nowadays. I run the
really?
yeah, the Head Rush Prime.
Cool.
And then I used to be big into I used to own a Mesa triple rectifier and had a couple amp or cabs, and just now that I'm older, it's so much easier to carry a pedal board. And I have a powered cab that I take to like smaller shows when I need some stage volume, but we
Yep.
run we run in-ear monitors, so we really don't need the stage volume anymore.
Is that
And
you being the gearhead for the band or is somebody else? I'm assuming it's you.
well, we're all kind of we all kind of collectively do all the things when it comes to like all the gear and stuff. We run through an X32 and run in-ear monitors like most modern bands do these days.
Right.
And we kind of all kind of take contribute into that, so we're all knowledgeable about it. It's pretty in depth, which is nice that everybody's kind of knowledgeable about it,
Right.
because we made the mistake before of having one person just being the head guy when it comes to building click tracks and having a set list and running all the tech stuff. And then when that burden's on one person, that can be kind of overwhelming. And then when that person,
Resentful.
yeah,
Hmm.
exactly.
Yep.
And then you just then when that person leaves, then you're kind of stuck. So it's just
Mm.
best for everybody to have that knowledge. That way you can troubleshoot and stuff too.
Well, that's knowledge I need. So thank you. That little tip right there.
Sometimes I could just like go up and just plug in and play like I used to, but having in ears, being able to hear yourself, and the ease of just that I can literally set my rig up in 5 minutes and be ready to play. And
Right.
it's so much with my,
And like you don't even have to really mess with I mean the tone, the sound, anything. Like everything's fed to the snake, and
yep,
literally the
exactly.
sound guy is just like, "Zoop," and
Yep. We just literally we hand him two cables,
mhm,
and then he takes over the front of the house, and then we run our own mix up on stage, and we don't ever have to worry about feedback from monitors or anything like that.
right. Pretty pretty wild, man. How
Yeah, yeah.
technology has come along, man. And then there's part of me that's like kind of miss the dual rec on top of a Marshall, just the
I
feeling
definitely do.
on stage.
I miss that's one thing I do miss. I miss like that feeling from like a 4x12 cab, like on your back, like pushing that air. I
Right.
miss it. I do miss that.
I'm
But
one of my biggest fears is like the sound guy just forgot to put everything like in the mains and you count off your click and we're just rocking out and there's nothing coming through the mains, you know what I mean?
yeah,
That'd be
for
my
sure.
luck. That'd be my what were the bands that like shaped you? Like what if you had to pick five bands when you were a kid or something that really made you you?
Well, the first band that comes to mind is Korn. That's
Mm,
my favorite band of all time.
nice.
So, Korn, Metallica, like at a younger age.
You have to say that because I'd say that too because I don't even know, man, what the last Metallica album I
Yeah, well, I mean, I still love those bands now, but like my influences have like changed through the years, if that makes sense. Like
mine too.
I still have like my tried and true bands, Korn, Metallica, and bands like that. But like right now, I'm obsessed with Sleep Token. I was mowing the grass earlier, and I listened to their whole new record. I've listened to it like 30 times already.
Yeah.
But
It's are you messing with like I think I read somewhere they're doing like drop E on some songs where
crazy,
I mean
crazy.
seriously, are you messing what do you guys usually tune to? Like C sharp or something? Like drop half
We
step?
play drop C, B, and half step down.
Okay.
But I have a whammy pedal that has the DT
Yep.
D2 setting, so I have all my guitars tuned to drop C. So whenever we play in B, I just drop it down so I don't have to.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
I got this and I still haven't even had a chance to mess with it, you know what I mean?
fantastic,
It's
fantastic.
this is just basically the whammy without the whammy, isn't it?
Yep, yep. That one can't go up though. I don't think. I think it can only go down. Correct?
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I messed with
So
it a couple times, but I really haven't had a chance to to really screw with it, but
They're fantastic. The only thing is, if you go more than like two or three up or down, you
mhm.
start to hear that little bit of like electronic sound.
Yeah, the
So that's why
warble.
yeah, that's why I tune all my guitars to drop C. That way when we play a half step up, I only have to go up one, and when we play in B, I only have to go down one. So you can't really notice the difference.
Nice. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if you don't have your guitar set up for like some like drop A or something, I can't. I don't know.
That's crazy.
It's just
Like
floppy, sloppy, and
you're basically playing like bass strings at that point.
right. Are you? Do you have sevens and eights or
No, no,
anything? Or,
we play all six strings.
that's what I thought.
We've thought about experimenting with some seven string stuff, but I think the lowest that we ever plan on going is like B. I'd like to do some A stuff, some drop A would be cool. But
It's interesting, like because your stuff is just so melodic and like good too. Like, not that corn's not, but like, you know what I mean. Like, you think of corn, you think of that seven
oh
string,
yeah,
that you know
yeah,
what I
for
mean,
sure.
and it's just, I think that '94 album really changed everything
Oh
to a
yeah.
point, don't you?
Yeah, they're one of the first bands to experiment with that lower tuning, and it really like brought it it changed metal for sure.
I agree.
For sure.
Plus, it made it, I don't know, bouncier. Like, you could,
Yeah.
you know, a
Because
monkey just doing, his
yeah, yeah, and and Corn actually got me like into like hip hop and stuff, because they
right.
got that a lot of that hip hop bouncy influence too. So
What's
for
some of the hip
sure.
hop you dug?
I dig like I mean obviously who doesn't like Eminem, you know what I mean? But there's this guy right now called Dax. I don't know if you ever heard of him or not.
Mm-mm.
You should look him up. Like
Just
he's
DAX.
yeah, just DAX. Yeah,
Okay.
he's fantastic. If you
Cool.
like hip hop. He sings too, but like a lot of his lyrical content's fantastic.
Cool.
Fantastic.
I will check that out, man. What are your top 5 albums of all time? If you had to pick off the top of your head.
Corn self-titled, Ride the Lightning,
Ooh,
Matchbox 20's Yourself or Someone Like You.
nice.
Definitely. The first CD I ever bought was that actually
Really? That was going to
before
be a
getting into
question
porn.
later. So there you
Yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah. I would have to say, see, I keep thinking of like current stuff too, like The Summoning by Sleep
Sleep
Token is a
Token.
fantastic record from start to finish. Ashes of the Wake by
Okay.
Lamb for sure.
Isn't it like, it seems like there's those haters right now for Sleep Token too, which I don't
Yeah, oh, yeah.
understand.
You got
Is
the haters, and then you got the guys that are like, "Oh, well, I knew about them 3 years ago." Yeah,
right.
it's like, who cares? Who cares when you
Exactly.
discovered them? Who cares?
Like, yeah, there's and the gatekeepers too. It's like, I mean, I dig it just because, dude, they throw in some weird like jazz chords and like in
Yeah,
the tunings and stuff, and yes, I agree they're not quite metal. That's what a lot of the metal guys are mad about apparently, and they're getting their panties in a bunch because some people are. But dude, I don't even know what genre means anymore. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't understand the hate. At least they're rocking, man, and it's honestly, I admire it because it'd be awesome to be as big as they've gotten and not have to be famous.
yeah,
They could
exactly.
walk down the street and it's just, I've never wanted fame and fortune, it's like, well, maybe the fortune would be okay, but the fame would just suck, I think, don't you?
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
It's just
Especially with me, I got kids and a family and stuff too. So like being in that type of thing would be obviously as a musician, like you want people to know who you are, but
right, but not try to take a piece of you
yeah,
because they love
exactly.
what you do so much. I
Yeah,
agree, man.
yep.
Who's your favorite? Like, if you didn't have a budget, you won the lottery, who would you record with or have mixed or produced by? Do you have anybody in mind that you would? Are you Ross Robinson because of Corn or
Oh, I would love to work with Ross Robinson if we're talking about like musicians or producers.
producers right now?
Producers,
Yeah.
yeah, Robinson for sure, or maybe I always have a hard time pronouncing his last name, but the lead singer from Gojira, Laponte. Is
Yeah, I
that his name?
think so. Dude, how
Yeah.
about them coming out of, I
Oh
mean,
my gosh.
been
Yeah.
around for forever. And I don't know, the fact that they opened the Olympics was the coolest for
I know.
me. Like,
I
you
know for
know,
sure. And then watching them like on the building and stuff, like standing out like hundreds of feet, like 100 feet in the air, it's awesome.
and
But yeah,
even,
he owns a studio in New York. I would love to go record there.
okay, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do you
Or
ever have
maybe
you
it's
checked out
Boston.
his plugin?
Yeah, yeah, it's fantastic.
Because it's what is that?
It's neural.
Neuro. Yeah.
Yeah, neural DSP is the engine for it, but he has
Yeah.
his own plugin. Yeah, I mean, it's the 5150 with the whammy. It's you know what
I
I mean?
tried the Petrucci and I just got the Nolly just to mess with
Nice.
it, but I haven't gone all in on the Gojira yet because I don't know. I need to write some heavier riffs, I think, or something.
It's a fantastic play. Actually, the Headrush Prime, the unit that I use live, has a it has the capability to clone amps.
Oh,
And I
really?
cloned our other guitar player's amp. He had the 5150, and I cloned it. It sounds fantastic. One of
That's
the best
that's
tones.
the coolest part about it now too. Where I mean, digital 15 years ago, you'd have to spend days to try to get it to sound not digital. You know what I
Right,
mean?
exactly. Yeah.
And a lot of the tones coming out of them now, it's so cool that there's going to be a lot of kids that play rock and stuff that aren't going to have back troubles like me, because
Right,
they weren't
right.
lugging that 412 and that boogie up and down how many flights of stairs and everything.
You're gonna see a lot more people writing music too because it's relatively easy to get halfway decent laptop and download a couple plugins and be able to record music and write music. When I was younger, you had to have a guitar,
Right,
you had to have a full size amp, and you had to go to a studio to record anything. And
right. Well, how do you
it's
feel about that? Where like there's even like some of those new AI sites where you could literally go like, like you know what I mean? And I
that
mean,
makes me nervous.
I agree.
That does.
And I mean, artist wise, I think I don't ever really want to use AI for like artwork work or anything, but I don't even know if I have or not, to be honest. I've hired people to do something and it comes back
You'll never know. You'll never
wonderful.
know if they
Yeah,
don't tell
right,
you. You will
right.
never know if they don't tell you. You'll
Unless
never know.
unless there's a person and it has the extra finger or something,
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah.
you can sometimes tell like, what it looks like, but I don't know. I was talking like one of the other episodes I did. We were talking about Rick Beato, and how he's talking about a lot of like Nashville producers now to come up with songs. Literally, type in the prompt, some of the lyrics, throw it in an AI engine, and that's what's creating hits, and it's pretty gross.
I think as a whole, like it could be cool for somebody who doesn't really have that artistic ability but wants to be artistic. But if you're an artist or you're a musician and you have the capability to do it, don't rely on like AI to do it for you. You
Right,
know, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody has writer's block, but don't use Chat GPT to write a song for you.
right.
Like
I always kind of look
that's
at it too, like at the end of the day, it all comes back to like acoustic instruments too. Like, friggin' end of the world comes or something, and you want to entertain yourself. You're gonna have to play your guitar. You're not gonna have
yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
computer.
That's one great lesson that my dad taught me was like if you want to like be able to write a great song, write it on acoustic.
Yeah,
And if it can transpose to electric, then you got a great song.
in drop D. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
In drop
yeah,
A,
yeah, right.
dude. Like my other band previously to this. I mean, we were tuning to. It was like this hybrid tuning they were doing that like Carnival was using or something where it was like I don't even know what the low strings were, but the top three were standard. But like, I think the lows were like I want to say A or B, like
Really, that's interesting.
the low string, but it made it really kind of I don't know. pigeonholey to a point. So then like I would try to, transpose a lot of those songs to acoustic just because I agree with you wholeheartedly. If you can, you know, if a song can transpose or be acoustic, then it's a cool song, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And
But
that's coming from a metalhead. Like I'm
right,
more of
oh, dude,
a
I am with you because I mean, I went through, I was the death metal kid, when I was in junior high, and then I was like, there's other stuff. And next thing I know, I'm listening to, I don't know, weird stuff. Like
yeah.
just a good song's a good song, in my opinion. But
I listen to I like I probably have I probably like where I work at, like I have music on all day long. So
right.
like I get hours of music in
Do you have
daily.
like a playlist? Like, are you a Spotify playlist, or do
A
you
lot of
actually?
times, like it's weird. Like I go through this like I want to hear something new phase, so I go on a like release radar every day, or like go to
Okay.
different playlists. But
Hmm.
then I always like catch myself like going back to like '90s pop punk. You
Okay,
know,
that works.
like towards the end of the day, I'm like, all right, it's time for some pop rock or pop punk. But
I did one earlier today, and I rediscovered Islander. Do you remember Islander?
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Their album from 2023, Grammy nominated. It's friggin' masterpiece. And
Is
I read up on it, and it was like a Kickstarter. They're not on a label anymore, I don't think. It was a Kickstarter, but it's so good, man.
I know that J.R. Baris joined them for a while. Is he still? Do you know if he's still playing with them or not?
I want to say it's like the three founding members. I mean,
Oh yeah.
they have a touring drummer, I think, but I'm not totally sure because after the second album, I was kind of like, eh, because the first EP was great, the first album was great, and the second album came out, I was just kind of like, eh. And then I read that they apologized for jumping into the drum set on Warped Tour. I'm like, Dad, I'm not apologizing. Do what you want to do, I don't know. Like, what do you think about like Turnstile and
Dude,
and
I love any band that is innovating and being different and trying to create something different and new. I love I can find enjoyment in all of it. You
good?
know,
I mean, I just
I used to be a little bit closed-minded when I was younger, especially when I first started really getting heavy into like corn and stuff like that. I was like, okay, this is all I'm listening to.
right.
But
Something
they
else is weak, or something
yeah,
dumb
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
As you get older, you like and you want to once you realize that you want to become a better musician,
You
then
open your mind to
the
different
only
stuff.
way to do that is to open your mind to different styles and genres and
Right,
stuff like that. So yeah, I listen to everything from, you know, Matchbox 20 to Suicide Silence, you know?
right. I the band that's touring with Deftones, Barbarians of California. I just bought their whole. They only have a couple singles and like one 9-song album, but I dig it. It's
Dude, one record and they're touring with Deftones? Damn it.
well, the most of the band is AWOL Nation,
Oh, really?
but it's
Okay.
heavy, dude, and it's cool and it's different and weird.
What's the
Uh,
name?
the Barbarians of California.
I've never heard of them. I'm gonna check them out.
It's, I mean, the first thing I looked it up and I saw they were touring with them, and I'm like, I never heard of them either. And my stepson knew about them and knew more about them because they were AWOL Nation and stuff. So first thing I clicked on was like them doing this live performance like in this warehouse, and it's great. I love it. It's cool. The fact that rock is a little hungry and little pissed off and a little, I don't know. It's a beautiful thing to me. But
How old's your stepson?
he 21.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Kudos to
Yes.
you for being a stepdad. I'm the son of a stepdad.
No, I've been uh, 13 years now since me and his mom been together. So,
That's cool.
and he's a great guy, and she's great, and and he's a musician too, unfortunately. No, I'm kidding. No, he's a great artist, and
That's cool.
it was funny because like the first time I ever met him, he was doing a School of Rock thing when he was 8,
Oh, wow.
and he was like this little drummer, boom ta for one song. I think it was an AC/DC song, and then he came up front for like Iron Man or something to sing. And this little 8 or 9-year-old kid is just like like ruling this auditorium, and I'm like, this little kid is the coolest, funniest little shithead I've ever seen.
That's awesome.
Of course, now he's like me and more introverted, but but yeah, he's going to Cleveland Institute of Art, going into his senior year, and good musician, good artist,
That's
and
cool.
yeah, dude. Well, thank you for the compliment. I appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah. I think stepdads don't get enough credit, man. Kudos to you for that.
Thanks, man. How many little ones you got?
I got four,
Oh, wow.
two boys and two girls. My oldest is going to be 18, and my youngest is 7.
Wow.
So I got kudos to my wife for
Putting up with you too, right?
yeah, for sure. It's not an easy lifestyle putting up with a musician for sure, and I'm
That's
very
sweet.
lucky to be able to have a family and pursue a music career at the same time.
Very true.
It's very unheard of.
Agreed. And did she meet you at a show?
No, actually, we knew each other from school. We went to school together,
Oh, nice.
and then we reconnected. I was passing out flyers for a CD release show
Awesome.
Fusion, and ran into her at the mall and gave her a flyer, and then she showed up to the show, and it was on since then.
Cool, man. Did Fusion actually record? Like, did you
Yeah,
get?
we recorded a full record. It's on Spotify and all that stuff. Don't go listen
No,
to
I
it.
got to do it now. Is it not like spelled
No,
wacky or
it's just
anything?
Fusion Fusion, and then the name of the record is The Cure.
All right, I'll check it out, brother.
I love the
Dude,
songs on that record. We actually like some of those songs. Like I've actually pulled inspiration from myself on some of the songs that we recorded on the latest Theriaca record. Like some little notes here and there that I kind of like threw in there. It's like an homage to that record.
hell yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm to the point where I want to go back and like re-record my first couple records.
Yeah, yeah. I would love that record's actually coming up on 20 years.
Yeah.
So we actually talked about maybe like doing like a little like 20-year anniversary pop-up show, like local show, and not tell anybody that we're gonna do it and
Do
just
you
play
still
that whole record.
do you still talk to the bass player or whoever was the member that's not with you anymore?
Matt, oh yeah, I talk to Matt every once in a while, yeah, for sure.
Cool.
He wasn't an original member, but I actually joined the band as the bass player.
Oh, really?
And I remember when I was asked to play bass, I was like, I'm not playing bass.
Looking back, looking back, you should have been like, hell yeah, bass player didn't have
Yeah,
to do
but I
nothing.
did. I ended up joining and played bass for a little while, and then I took over guitar parts. And when I took over guitar, then we hired Matt as a bass player,
Hmm.
and he's doing great. He's got his own film company
Wow.
going, so he's so busy that
Oh,
you
really?
can't really blame him for not being able to commit the time that's needed to. We're not just like a play on the weekends type band. Like our goal is to,
Bigger
have
shows,
this.
bigger, better
Yeah,
shows.
yes,
Right.
exactly. So
Well,
in
I think
order to be able to do that, you have to commit, and you can't blame somebody for not wanting to do that when you already have something really good going on.
right. And plus, I think when you're young and like really hungry, it's like you'll play every night anywhere to nobody. When it's like you get a little older and man, what was I doing? I should have just tried to do like bigger, better shows with bigger, better bands. And
Yeah,
I look back and like my one original band, we were playing 150 original shows a year for 10, 10 years, 10, 15 years. And looking back, it's like, man, what did it get us? We were road dogs. Yes, we were
yeah.
road dogs, but I mean, now I have, you know, two vertebrae screwed up and my neck is just destroyed. And I don't know, probably won't ever be able to get surgery. But is there a song that you like, that's your number one song that you wish you almost would have written? It's that good that like every time you never get sick of it.
Mm, I would say "Somebody's Someone" by Korn. That's the first song that popped in my head. Like
Okay.
that song, lyrically, musically, even the music videos, awesome. You know what I
Right.
mean? That song. I play that song once a day. It's like on my thing. Like I have to play that song once a day.
No way.
Yeah,
That's
for sure.
awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know if I do that. I don't even know.
You don't have like a song that you're like, okay, like at the end of the day, it's like this is my end of the day song, or this
I,
is my morning hype song.
I probably should do that. I honestly, I still buy so much music because I'm that sucker. I refuse to do like Spotify, but I mean, I still go to iTunes and or I mean, I recently got a record player, so I'm
Me
buying
too, yes.
vinyl now.
Nice.
Sometimes the fourth version of some of my favorite albums because I had them on cassette when I was little. Then I had CD. Then I bought them digital. I'm sure. Now I'm getting them on vinyl. So
Nice.
I'm so stupid.
I have I I have Spotify. I use Spotify because I believe that Spotify is a pretty cool tool to like discover new music that you would probably never hear ever
Right.
before. But
That's
yeah,
the
I'm the
thing. I
same
don't
way. I
hate.
still buy music.
Right. I mean, I agree with you because honestly, most musicians are broke anyway. So
Yeah.
Spotify's a good tool.
I hate how they pay out, and I hate
Yeah.
how it's easy to release a song into the void and get choked because
Right.
it's not
Well,
because
plus then
Spotify.
that new rule too, like where if you don't have what is it, like 100,000 streams, any revenue you had goes into the other artists. You don't get a penny of it or something like
Yep,
that.
exactly. I think it's a lot lower than that though. I think it's 1,000 streams. I think if you
Oh,
don't
is
get to
it?
1,000 streams, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a little bit more
But it's still
reasonable then.
ridiculous. Like a thousand people listen to your song, or you've had your song was played 1,000 times. Like you should get
Something.
something for that.
Right.
You
Are
know?
you guys BMI or ASCAP?
Yeah, but we use BMI, and we distribute everything through DistroKid.
I just switched to DistroKid a couple years ago, and
Yeah,
it's been cool. Mellow. You don't have to think about anything. Even like
no,
if you
they do it.
do any covers, they do the licensing for you. And
Yep. The only thing that we're having issues with right now, though, is like, especially with this new release, every time that like we post that song
like a
on,
single from an album.
yeah, like every time we post like that music to our Facebook page or TikTok, like we use the audio in that song, Facebook and TikTok will like send us a notification saying, um, your song or your video your post is not being monetized because you're using copyrighted music. And it's like, bitch, it's my song.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't
Hmm.
know, there's some kind of discrepancy there right now that we're dealing with, that and I feel like it's been choking us a lot too, because like when you post something that's
Right.
has copyrighted material in it, like Facebook and TikTok will like choke it so that it doesn't get the exposure that you think it should get. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's like every time we post something with Noctambulous on it, it sends us a notification saying that we're using copyrighted music. It's like, yeah, it's copyrighted under our name.
Right. Yeah, I don't know
So
how that works either.
I don't
Because
know. We're fighting with them.
I heard the customer service isn't the greatest either to get
No,
through.
not at all.
So luckily I haven't had a problem with that yet, even though I did have an issue with like we'd put, a couple singles out from an album and I just now I don't even know why I didn't think about it, but you buy the album on iTunes or whatever, and if you bought the singles already, they don't show up in the album because you already bought them.
Oh, really?
But I'm so dumb, I don't think I put when you do the single, the IRSC code that they give you for the single, you have to put that code in for when the album, so that
Oh,
is recognized, I think, in the album. So I haven't done a single for a minute to do that, but
I
uh,
wonder if it's like that for our because we released we for our first record before we released the record we released Souvenirs and Embrace as singles, but then we
I
also re-released them on the record. I wonder if it's different with iTunes, like if you just downloaded the single, if it
um,
shows up on the actual record.
which album was that? Were those off of? Because I have both the singles.
The uh Different Shade of Gray.
Oh no, they're not. Because Embrace must be what, like number two on the album?
I believe so, yeah.
No, it has Civilized, then Before It All Fades, Never Enough, Pyre, Burn the Ladder, Embrace, Out of Focus, Break Before You Bend, I Belong Here. So
Souvenirs isn't on there.
no, so it must be number 11 on the album or something.
I can't remember the actual track listing.
It's all good, man. Well, dude, I'm not gonna keep you any longer. Actually, this has been really one of my favorite chats so far doing this. So thank you for doing it. I appreciate
I'm sorry it took so long to get on here. I know you
it.
reached out to me, a while ago, and I told you I would reach out, and then I didn't. That's
All
totally my
good,
fault.
dude.
I feel bad about it, but
Listen, what happened the first time? You sent a message to the band, and it was like 9 months later that I found the message. So I feel bad about that. But anyway, thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Your
let's
band,
get
your
let's
band's
get.
great.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you guys are awesome too. We need to play together again for
All right.
sure. So, and I'm actually going to be up in Cleveland this weekend. I believe my son has a baseball tournament
Oh, really?
up that way.
I'm
So,
playing solo up at Kelly's Island all weekend. So
oh, nice.
yeah, that's what I do is play the solo covers for a living. So I
Dude,
do like,
I'm really digging the acoustic stuff you're putting on YouTube, man. Seriously, sounds great.
thanks.
Fantastic. I love your voice, dude. I love it.
Well, thanks, brother. I'm actually, while I got you on here, if you'd be down or and your singer to guest on like one of the I've during COVID I recorded like 150 covers that I
Holy cow.
like or something, and I've just now finally gotten around to starting getting them mixed and everything. But I sent them out. I sent some out to a bunch of friends and just a guest on, and I don't know, hopefully plug your band a little bit and honestly just kind of share the love and have some.
I think you and Kyle singing together would be bonkers, dude. It sounds great.
All right. Well, how about this? I'll find one of them, have him sing on it, and have you do like a guitar solo or something.
Dude, send it over.
All
I'm
right.
in.
I'll
I'm
try to
in. And
figure out.
I'm gonna make him be in on it too.
I'm gonna make him.
Make him do it.
All right, Nate. I appreciate you, brother.
Thanks so
Everybody
much
check
for
out.
having me on, man.
No worries. Everybody check out Theriaca. It's theriaca.net though, right?
Yes, yes.
And I'll put everything in the bio below. It's seriously awesome, and you guys should be huge, in my opinion. In the meantime, check me out.com, Critic City, all my old stuff. I put literally my every release I've ever put out. I think I put out like 35 albums or something on my
Holy cow.
on my Bandcamp. So check that out. We're running the special right now. I think it's like 35% off because there's way too much music to consume. But anyway, thank you, Nate. I appreciate you, brother. We'll hopefully be in touch soon, and I will talk to you.
Take it easy, brother.
See you, pal.
Later.
Yeah,